Everyone, very good afternoon. Hello everyone, very good afternoon and welcome to Knowledge Hub by Sri Chaitanya. Once again with one of your very interesting sessions on plant kingdom for NEET. I am Pratyusha, senior botany faculty, and in this session we are going to discuss about plant kingdom and the introduction of the plant kingdom. So this topic is very important for your NEET exam, and this topic, if you can see the average overall, how much weightage you have in the recent NEET exams, that is from 2020, 18 and everywhere, you are having 3 to 4 questions each. Some years you have got 2 questions from this chapter, but some years it's like 1 question also. So overall, on an average, we are having 2 questions each from this particular chapter. So it's going to be a very important chapter and it's a very important topic for your NEET. So without any delay, we'll be starting. But before that, let us see what all we are having in the plant kingdom chapter. Okay, so we will be covering with the introduction of the plant kingdom in this chapter, that are the different systems of classification. How the plants were classified from the starting, how it was, like how it started with the earliest scientist and it went forward to the recent most ones. Right, so we'll be doing all this in this topic today's session. Then after that, we'll be starting with the different types of the plants on which the plants are overall classified. Starting with the algae, then going to the bryophytes, then going to the pteridophytes. After that, we have gymnosperms and angiosperms. Okay, so we'll be covering all this in our upcoming session. So what I suggest you all is that please watch all the sessions on the topic of plant kingdom so that you get a detailed study properly on the entire chapter, right? Okay, so let us start our today's session with the topic Introduction to Plant Kingdom. Okay, so we can see like this is a completely new chapter which you have not done before. I mean, in my previous sessions, I had talked about the last chapter, that was biological classification. You have heard about the plant kingdom in that chapter, where it belonged to. And what are the plants? Plants are the multicellular organisms, also eukaryotic, which are having autotrophic mode of nutrition. By autotrophic exclusively, I mean only photosynthetic, nothing else, right? So here we are going to study about plants. Okay, here they are eukaryotic, multicellular organisms with autotrophic, I mean photosynthetic mode of nutrition. Okay, so then in the classification systems, see earlier what we studied the 2 kingdom system and the 3 kingdom system, and also finally we stuck on to the 5 kingdom system of classification, which was given by Robert Harding Whittaker, R.H. Whittaker. So in that artificial and see artificial system, it was given by Linnaeus. Okay, so in artificial system we had, which was given by Linnaeus, and then natural, this was given for the plants. Okay, I am saying for the plants, this was given by Bentham and Hooker. Finally, we have phylogenetic system, which was again after, but we are going to follow the Bentham and Hooker system as per NCERT here. Okay, even after that, we have the phylogenetic system given by Ostwald, scientist. Okay, so Oswald Tippo's phylogenetic system also we have. Okay, so fine, this is after that. Okay, but we'll be sticking to the natural system of classification here. So and coming to the artificial, so artificial was Linnaeus's, and even after that this was totally based on the morphological features. Okay, that's why it was not that much deep. Okay, now let's see what were the points which was included under the artificial system of classification and why it was not included. Okay, so it was one of the earliest systems of classification Okay, one of the earliest systems of classification, and this included the superficial morphological characteristics. See, superficial by which we can see, let's say, one characteristics. Okay, one is, let's say, height. Okay, so on the basis of height, we can divide plants into herbs, shrubs, and trees, right? So this is just one morphological character, but let's say some of the plant families are very close to each other compared to the others. Okay, so there are different plant families. You can name a bit like anyone, like Brassicaceae. That is including many from the shrubs and herbs also. So we cannot just divide it based on the morphological character, that is height for say. Okay. So also like it's just a morphological character. So we should not only see one, we should see many others. Like let's say cytological, cell wise how it is different. Okay. Then we can also say genetical. All these characters has to be taken on account apart from only superficial morphological characters, which was not done by artificial. So artificial means it only used gross superficial morphological characters like habit, color. Okay, color wise how we can separate them. Then number. So how many number of plants maybe are observed in this area and how many are in the others, like that. Okay. Let's say then shape of leaves. Okay, some leaves might be different from the others. But if we are considering that also, we have to see a lot of other features like phyllotaxy, arrangement of leaves and all. Just simply the superficial shapes of the leaves will not help in this. And then they were mainly based on the vegetative characters or on the androecium structure, something like that. Okay, so this was the artificial system which was first given, but still we got a classification system. Hence we cannot totally deny the benefits of this, right? Because it gave the very first system of classification. Okay, so now let's see that what are the drawbacks, as I already told, but let's see a bit into more details what are the actual drawbacks. Okay, they are separated closely. They have separated closely related species. Okay, so let's say as I just said, okay, many families might have all the members coming from herbs, shrubs, trees on the basis of heights. There might be families which are including all these three ones. Okay, but if we are just dividing on the basis of height, then you will separate the closely related species. Okay, so now this, since they were based on only a few characteristics, not all. Then after this, it gave equal weightage to the vegetative and sexual characters, which should not be. Okay, so there should not be equal weightage to vegetative characters, because we know that for plants vegetative characters might change because vegetative propagation, it might change from by environmental factors also. Okay, vegetative characters depends on environmental factors. You might see that a tree might reach to a very small height at a particular place, but when it is growing in a different type of soil, then you can see that it is becoming much more than that. Okay, it's growing much better than how it is in a particular place, right? Okay, next thing is, this is not accepted since we know that often the vegetative characters are more easily affected by the environment. Okay, easily affected, it can be seen. So as I said, due to environment it is affected. Now let's see the other one. So let's see the next one, that is the natural system of classification. Now in natural system of classification, they had kept many more other characters apart from just simple outside morphological characters. Okay, so not only morphological characters but many other things also. So based on natural affinities amongst the organisms and considered that not only the extent of features, external features, but also internal features, okay, like cytological features, how the genetics of the like plant is and all these things, okay, like also ultrastructure, anatomy, phytochemistry, all these different types of things. Okay, next, who gave this? As I already said, Bentham and Hooker. So the full name of the scientist is George Bentham and Joseph Dalton Hooker. Okay, now this classification of flowering plants, okay, what they did was they only gave flowering plants in this. Later on they added few different families also. Okay, now only drawback of the natural system of classification is that it does not include phylogeny. What do we mean by phylogeny? Evolutionary relationships, okay. So it does not include phylogeny, or it does not include evolutionary relationships. Let's say it does not include how a fungi or how a small algae is related to a really large, I mean giant sequoia plant. It is not actually showing the relation in that way, okay, but it should, okay, because phylogeny is very important and we have understood the importance in our last chapter, okay. What is the importance of phylogeny? We have already considered, right? So phylogeny was also included in taxonomy, hence we have learned systematics, and so phylogeny is very much required, okay, for the evolutionary relationship. Fine. So now let's see that based on this natural system of classification, we have how many different groups coming under this plant kingdom. First one, classification of flowering plants as per George Bentham and Joseph Dalton Hooker. First one is under Plantae, we have cryptogams and we have spermatophyta. Now, under cryptogams, we will be having rest of it, like we will be having algae, we will be having bryophytes, we will be having pteridophytes. And under spermatophyta or under phanerogams, we are having two families of the angiosperm, which are the dicot and the monocot, and we are having the gymnosperms. Okay, so gymnospermy we are having. Then further under dicots, we have further different groups. We are having polypetalae, we are having gamopetalae, and we are having monoclamidae. I will be talking about this, okay, in the later part, but this is just introduction. So we will be going through all the different classes of plants, right? Okay, so let's see now what we have under them. Now how they were classified. Next, I have told you about natural system of classification, how this is coming now. It's only having one drawback, that it is not having phylogenetic. Okay, now let's see what else is included in phylogenetic. Okay, so phylogenetic, first thing, they are based on evolutionary relationships between various organisms. Okay, so now, so they assume that the organisms belonging to the same taxa have a common ancestor. Okay, so now what will happen if they are having a common ancestor? Then they form the basis of a cladogram. What is a cladogram? You all have seen, you all must have seen 100%. See, this is a diagram which is used in classification studies to show the relations among different organisms. Let's say, see here we started the base of the cladogram here. Okay, so it started when? Around 1.5 million years ago. Okay, let's say here we are having a common ancestor of the plants, right? So from here we have started with the algae. Okay, so algae are placed here. We have a common ancestor of the plants, and then from here we have one more. Okay, so here we can see approximately we are going down in the same line. Here we have reached a common point. We have gone here. There are certain changes. This came around 420 million years ago. These are the three different groups of the bryophytes. Okay, if you can't see, then I'll just tell. So the first one is the liverworts. Second one is the hornworts. and the third one is the mosses. Okay, liverworts, hornworts and mosses. Then from here what do you have? From here we came to this particular one. So we have here the pteridophytes. Okay, bryophytes are here. One more juncture, we came here to the pteridophytes. Pteridophytes are divided into further 3 groups: lycopods, ferns and horsetails. Approximately how much time? 375 million years ago. Okay, then next we have come, see here there is an important feature. Here there is a development of xylem and phloem. Okay, so these plants onwards we will be calling them as tracheophytes. Okay, so tracheophytes, they are having xylem and they are having phloem. Okay, so tracheophytes is present here. Next, from here we are having the formation of woody tissue. Before that it was not present. Okay, see pteridophytes, there might be certain plants which are very huge, but bark, stem, formation of wooden bark and presence of woody stem was not there present for the pteridophytes. It came first in the gymnosperms onwards, which came here. Right, so much of the years of changes. Okay, so phylogeny has gone like this. So plant evolution have started from here. It has first gone to the algae, which is in a different direction because algae, many unicellular are also included under algae. Here it comes with the bryophytes, then it goes further, here it comes with the pteridophytes, then further it comes. Here you have what? Here is, this is gymnosperms. Okay, this is gymnosperms. Finally you have here present, that is the angiosperms, right? Okay, so angiosperms will come in the 4th position here, 3rd, and this is 4th. Both of them are 2nd. This is the first set of evolution, this is the 2nd set of evolution. So what we are considering here overall, both development of gymnosperms and angiosperms are coming under the next set of evolution under the plants. Okay, so in this we have seen that the branch which is dealing with different directions ending at the end of a clade. Okay, at a clade. So a group of organisms with a last common ancestor. What is the last common ancestor? This one you can say. This or this is the last common ancestor, LCA here. Okay, so let's see next. So now who gave? So phylogenetic classification. So few scientists have also done this. It was like Engler and Prantl, Hutchinson, Takhtajan, all of them had proposed phylogenetic classification system. Okay, this classification systems become very important when there is no, see when there is so there has to be, I mean there, if there is no supporting fossil evidence then. Okay, now, so what all bases are this classification systems are coming? First of all, we have numerical classification. Okay, numerical classification, we can see that it is now easily carried out using computers. Okay, we have entered some kind of data that is being taken and this data is matched with the various other plants present at that area. Okay, so with the computers, and this is based on all observable characters. Okay, all observable characteristics it is based on. Then coming to the next, number and codes are assigned to all the characters and the data is then processed. Okay, next, each character is given an equal importance and at the same time, hundreds of characters are considered. How? Because everything is going, it is coming under this numerical taxonomy. Okay, so it's like hundreds of characters can be processed at once. Okay, so let's see the next. See, next after this we have 2 more. We have cytotaxonomy and we have chemotaxonomy. Under cytotaxonomy, this is based on cytological information like chromosome number, structure and behavior. Okay, then after that we have chemotaxonomy. So chemotaxonomy, what is chemotaxonomy? It is using the chemical constituents of the plants. Okay, inside the plants, inside the cell, what is it there? Okay, how one plant is chemically different from another plant. Okay, chemical constituent of the plant to resolve confusions. Okay, next is DNA sequence, chemical nature of the proteins, presence of aromatic compounds also. Certain plants might have more aromatic compounds present than the others. In what sense? Like maybe they are required to attract some of the pollinators. For that they might have this particular type of compounds, right? Okay. Next thing is that they are also used by the taxonomists these days. Okay, so this particular ones might be used by the taxonomists. Okay, chemotaxonomy is very worldwide used by the taxonomists. Okay, okay. So now let's see some others. I mean, how kingdom plant is further divided. Okay, first one is algae. You can see algae here, how it's like. It will just, it is consisting of unicellular to multicellular to many, like that. Okay, it differs in shapes, sizes, and color wise also. There are 3 different types of algae: red algae, brown algae, green algae, all of this like that. Okay, next one is bryophytes. So bryophytes, it includes the mosses, which forms a carpet-like structure. Okay, then it has pteridophytes, which is including the first proper land plants. So they are starting with the ferns. Okay, ferns, horsetails, all of these are coming under pteridophytes. Okay, then even after this, we are having gymnosperms and angiosperms, which are coming under the group of spermatophyta, which is having endosperm. So spermatophyta, the term, it means it's having endosperm, and it's present in gymnosperm, angiosperm, all the groups, right? Now let's see, we'll start with algae, but before that we'll be seeing how the different types of algae are. Okay, so some of the important characters of the algae. Okay, so different types of algae we can see here. First group under plant kingdom, we have volvox, we have eulothrix, we have laminaria. Fucus is coming under brown, so we can see these 2 are green algae, these three are brown algae, and these 2 further are the red algae. So based on the pigments, okay, the algae are further divided into 3 groups. Algae is coming under the first group, that is thallophyta, under cryptogams. Okay, so we'll see habitat wise. General characteristics of the algae. First general characters of the algae is that habitat wise they are largely aquatic. Okay, largely. So you will not find generally algae anywhere else apart from the aquatic environment. Okay, so it's like both freshwater and marine organisms. Okay, it's algae. Fine, then next thing is they occur in a variety of other habitats. So like, see, we have algae occurring here in the majority area of the water. Next from here, we have algae also which is occurring in the rocks, stones, in all these various places we have. Okay, moist stones, soils, wood, all these different places. Okay, then some of them also are in association with fungi. And this is a symbiotic association, my dear students. Okay, symbiotic. And also on the body of animals. How? Sloth bear, you know, extremely slow. And it is so slow that it can grow a cover of algae on the body. Yes, you are very correct. It's so slow that it's just present there for many days, and it just gets itself covered with algae. Algal growth is also occurring in its body. Right, okay. Now let's see this form and size of the algae. So form and size of the algae, it is highly variable, varies from the other. Okay, and they range from colonial forms like volvox to the filamentous form, that is eulothrix and spirogyra. Okay, and even after this you can see from unicellular colonial forms you have till the giant kelps. Okay, and all the marine forms such as scalps, they form massive plant bodies. Okay, they form massive, huge plant bodies. Okay. Okay, let's see the next thing, body organization. So algae, they have simple and thalloid body organization. Thalloid, this word means that there is no differentiation of root, stem and leaves. Okay, so the entire body is just something like this. Okay, there is no leaves, there is no root, there is no stem, and also flower fruits though is not there anyway. Okay, so after that, tissue system is also absent. It's totally cellular. Okay, then nutrition. So in nutrition, they are photoautotrophic and they bear chlorophyll pigment. Now, based on this chlorophyll pigment, it's divided into few types. It's chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, C and D. All these different types of chlorophyll might be present in the algae. Okay, now here it is written thallus. Refers to a body which is not differentiated into root, stem and leaves. So, as I have just mentioned. Okay, let's see now reproduction. Okay, in the algae, vegetative, it undergoes fragmentation, especially we can see in Spirogyra. Okay, this type. So Spirogyra is an algae which is undergoing this type of vegetative reproduction in the fragmentation. Next, asexual. In asexual, different types of spores, by releasing these types of spores, then the spores will go and land and it will form new plants there. Okay, so new plant bodies there. So the most common spores out of them is the zoospores. So zoospores are called as a motile spores. Okay, so one spore will travel to the other place and then they will reach there. Okay, okay. Then let's see sexual, fusion of two gametes. Now, the gametes can be similar in size or dissimilar in size also. Okay. Now, here is a very important point for the algae, that is sex organs in the algae. They are unicellular and non-jacketed. What do I mean by non-jacketed? If it is jacketed, then one particular cell, it is covered with a cover around it made up of sterile cells. Okay, this is the main reproductive cell. So the reproductive cell, I hope you can see, this is a reproductive cell. This reproductive cell is covered with a bunch of sterile cells. Okay, this you can see in the bryophytes, not in algae. So in algae, it's just without any cover. Okay, so the cover protects the sex organs from any further damage. But we don't have such feature in the algae because it's not very evolutionarily advanced. Okay, it's just the first type of plants in this group, right? Okay, now let's see the different types of sexual reproduction in the algae. We have three different types. We have isogamous, anisogamous and oogamous. Okay, so what are this? Isogamous, it means the gametes which are fusing, they are similar in size. Okay, so let's say this is a gamete and this is also a gamete. So this is similar in size and this can be motile or non-motile, whatever. Motility does not matter, but the motility wise it can be motile or also non-motile. Okay, so see, non-flagellated, non-motile, it can be what? Flagellated and similar in size, or it can be non-flagellated but similar in size. Okay, non-flagellated means it is non-motile. Okay, so let's see now anisogamous. Anisogamous is what? Two gametes, fusion of the two gametes that are dissimilar in size, and dissimilar in size as it is present in the species of Eudorina, which is termed as anisogamous. Okay, anisogamous is this. It's not similar in size. One can be this, and one can be this, but there is no motility related here. Okay, let's come to oogamous, the last type. So in oogamous, we have a typical fusion between one large non-motile gamete, female, which we can call as a female, and there is a small and motile gamete, which we call as a male. Okay, so typically, as we see in the higher organisms, this kind of system is observed. Okay, small non-motile, large non-motile female gamete and small motile male gamete. Okay, so now let's see, we have divided algae into three main classes. First one is Chlorophyceae, or this is also called as green algae. Next one is Phaeophyceae, or we call it as brown algae, and the third one is Rhodophyceae, or we call it as red algae. Okay, now let's do some important questions from the previous year from this chapter. Okay, so this should be phylogenetic. Okay, so phylogenetic system of classification is based on what? Morphological features, chemical constitutions, and floral characters or evolutionary relationships. Okay, so let's give a pause, a small pause of around 2-3 seconds. I hope you are done by this time. So here is the answer. The answer is phylogenetic characteristics is based on evolutionary relationships. Yes. So I hope most of you got it right? Okay, let's see this one now. A system of classification in which a large number of traits are considered. Okay, this is what? Number 1, natural system. Number 2, phylogenetic system. Number 3, artificial system. And number 4, synthetic system. Okay, which is it? Your 3 seconds are over. Okay, now let's see the answer. It is natural system. Here, a large number of characters is observed, but it is not including the evolutionary characteristics. Yes. Okay. Now, system of classification used by Linnaeus was what? Natural system, artificial system, phylogenetic and asexual. Okay, here you go again with 2 to 3 seconds maximum, then I'll give you the answer. Okay, so let's see the answer. It is artificial system. I had revealed a bit, I think so, my dear students, but your NEET will not reveal you the answers. Okay, you have to study very, very well for your NEET exams. Correct? Okay, let's see this classification. So, classification given by Bentham and Hooker is what? Artificial, natural, phylogenetic and numerical. Okay, yes, it's again natural system of classification. Okay, so my dear students, we are at the end of our session, but it's not the end for you all. You can definitely explore much more and know about our very important courses and everything right now, my dears. So in order to know about our courses and stay tuned to our channel properly, so that if you want us to come and teach you for your NEET exam, you please scan this QR. Okay? Okay, so that's it from my side today. Bye-bye and see you in our next session, where we are going to discuss about the green algae further. Okay, so we'll start with the first group of algae, that will be the green algae. And my dear students, definitely do scan this QR for getting the important, like, more courses and all this.